when when my aunt from Pittsburgh, when she died, she left her husband behind. They never had children. She couldn't have any children. I don't know why. I think she had miscarriages and stuff and just couldn't carry to term. I guess that's why she couldn't have any kids. And so me and my mother, we decided to move back to Pittsburgh. And believe me, grief has a funny way of showing of how much you miss your family members or your husband, your wife, whatever. And well, first of all, when we moved into Oakland, and it was a community where there's a lot of different cultures, different people. There was Italians, there were Greeks, there were whites, blacks, there were Asians, Jewish, different people with different backgrounds. It's like a melting pot in Oakland. You have hospitals, colleges, University of Pittsburgh, the college of all colleges. People around the world comes to that school. They have a lot of stores. They have coffee shops. They have the original, they call it, they have hot dogs, french fries, cheese toast, and stuff like that. Have fish sandwiches. They at that time, they had Giant Eagle at that time, a supermarket. They had Arby's, Wendy's, McDonald's. They also have museums, art museums. The Pittsburgh Public School building there. They have what else they had? Many hospitals. You know, they have Falk Clinic, Montefiore, Presby Hospital. They have Iron Ear Hospital. They have McGee Women's Hospital. I've heard it's called the baby machine. You see parents at the end of the conveyor belt. Here comes their here comes the baby, come all wrapped up and everything else. You know, they come pick up the baby from the conveyor belt and just go on home. You know, it's something like that. You know, and they also have a research building where they do research. They bring animals and all that to do research for I don't know, for a cure, but for a vaccine, if anything out of the ordinary, that just like the HIV, AIDS that came in around the early 80s and stuff like that, and you know, there was no vaccine of it, so that's a research. They have a play next to it. They have there was a lot of main roads, Forbes, Center Avenue, the main drags streets, schools, colleges, University of Duquesne. They also have what else? Oh, Pitt Stadium. They have vendors that you could sell Pitt paraphernalia, the shirts, the items for Pitt, and all their stores. And at that time they had Blockbusters. They had Panera, that bagel store. You get different type of bagels and all that type of stuff if you want. Cream cheese, Panera. They have shoe stores. Long time ago, they have a bakery store there. They had all that kind of stuff in Oakland. Eateries like pizzerias, Larry and Carol's. I used to go there and have their food. They had little small clinics also. So, yeah, there was quite a few white folks there, but a lot of Irish, a lot of backgrounds, Italians, as I was saying previously. And, I rode on the 67 Squirrel Hill bus. It was number white. Very one or two black person, me and other two black person. When I go downtown, I get on that bus, and it stops right in front of where I live. I have to walk about 2 blocks up, so to my house. And the neighbors, they were nice. They was okay and everything. And me and next door neighbors, we used to go anywhere we wanted to go. And other 2 kids, they was very strict. They cannot go anywhere. They had to stay right there in that yard. But anyway, I was going to Shenley High School. Me, another school she going to? Yes, another school. This time I graduated from the 12th grade, but beforehand I was still being picked on. Some boy put his leg out and tripped me. There was a water fountain there, and I could have hit my head on that water fountain, but luckily it didn't, because I could have had a concussion, or I could have broke my neck, because that water fountain was right there. The boy put his foot out intentionally and tripped me and everything. And at lunchtime I get hungry. Let me tell you, every child in schools run to the lunch. And yeah, I was part of it too. They had that good pizza. They had that greasy stuff. That's not healthy for you at that time. So I like the French fries, the hot dogs, the cheeseburgers, the pizza. The pizza was the bomb. There was nothing green on those plates. Applesauce, Jell-O, or macaroni and cheese, whatever. It was fattening and all that, but I enjoyed it. I didn't really care, But lunchtime, yes, everybody. We was getting cinnamon buns, soda, we was getting snacks, and so after that, I got pregnant yeah, I think 11th grade or 12th grade, I got pregnant. And that was kind of unusual for me you say you was quiet, timid. Well, things change over time, days, months, minutes, seconds, years, and I got pregnant. How did that happen? How I let myself go like that? I was going to his place, and I was scared, because at the back of my mind, no, don't, you know what's going to happen, no, but that was that voice inside of me, but I went through it. I didn't like it. I had my underwear on. It didn't happen. It got dark. I called my mother and my uncle. Two people, they're the two people you don't want to call. And I ended up down the basement. That's when I was somewhat, things got out of control. It was forced, and I tried to push him away from me. I couldn't overcome, because a man has that strength. You know, if he's horny, he has that strength. You know, and I was pulled down, and he held both of my arms up like this, and I'm trying to wiggle my way out of it, and it was against my will, and he put his pants down, and it happened, and I felt something wet. I like, oh no, and so I went for the pregnancy test. My mother went and got the results, and unfortunately she was disappointed, because it turned out positive that I am pregnant at the age of 18 years of age. I wasn't even graduated yet, but I was determined to go and finish and graduated, going through all that hell years. Why stop now? And you know, just stay home mom with no high school certificate, diploma. You know, march down the aisle and all that kind of stuff like that. So I went through Shawnee High. It was like hell to me, like any other schools that I went previously, and I just barely made it by the skin of my teeth. Graduated, marched down the aisle, got my diploma, got my tassel, turned it over, I don't know which way it is, and I got my diploma and everything. My son, my uncle, my mother was there. We took pictures and all that. We went home, and so after that, went to another school. Only 9 months. Is computer tech, but a waste of money. $2,500. So went there, don't know jack. For 9 months, I ended up with a diploma. You know, how that happened. And my mind is still used to elementary. You know, the teacher writes things on the board. what to say, what chapter to read, what page, what book. You've been led. But when I went to computer tech, you're not going to be led. I was waiting for the teacher to write down something, because still in my mind is still in elementary or junior high. Teachers write down and stuff like that for you, and it's easy. And I was in computer tech. Oh my goodness! Just looking back with all the schools I went to was so easy. Now you're in computer tech. I'm sitting up in here waiting for the teacher to write it down. Something or some clue, some hint. It's like a child still in me, still learning, still have the academic, inside of me. I don't realize that I'm growing up now. It's time for me to start writing down something. Everything was confusing since then. I was playing the computers like they was video games. You had to learn the math, you had to learn this, you had to learn the shapes, like a protractors, diaphragms, and all that stuff like that. I was just out of touch. I was out of touch. I was still not realizing where I'm at, but I was lost. I put it to you that way. I was lost for 9 months, and I got a certificate. I don't wonder how it happened, but they was giving it away just for nothing. They could have failed me. I wouldn't care less anyway, but inside of me, for real, I missed being around people. That was the number one thing, and that was the lackness of it, and it cost me $2,500. That's how much it cost me, because of the lackness of being around with young people, young kids, and it cost me something I couldn't pay back. So I ended up working, still single parent, no father. The father ended up in jail for being accused of raping somebody at McDonald's downtown. There was zero tolerance for me. And make story short, he had the right to see his son or daughter. A father has the right to see their kids. But something happened downtown near work, near down to Forbes, close to work. He grabbed me by my arms, and he's talking about, wanting to see his son or something, and not only that, when he grabbed my arms real hard, and he sucker punched me in my jaw. He punched me, boom, right in my jaw, just like boom, I did like this, and thank God that the bus just starting to come down the hill. I was so embarrassed, and it was very embarrassing out in the public in downtown Pittsburgh, being punched and being held by your squeeze. I had bruises all up in here. I had bruises, And so my uncle and my mother put a warrant for his arrest for an assault. And he did a lot of things to me that was, he's not the guy that I want to marry. He had literacy problems. He couldn't read or write. He couldn't do, he had a gun one time. We were just living together, and he shot off a gun and everything. I was like, what's going on here? We was down the basement, you know. Yes, living in sin back then. I was going on 19 years old. Went to the movies. We went to, the relationship to me was not a happy one, because we was under the roof of my uncle, and it was not our house. And the whole quarrel was my mother and my uncle. They fought, they conflict. I'm like, not again. You know, this happened in Baltimore. Come here. You know, he's related only by marriage. You know, and they physically fighting. I'm like, not again. And I stayed away, you know, and because I could have killed the man. I could have ended up in jail. He's not worth it, okay? He's not worth it, because I could have killed him. Now, I heard him saying about my mother grabbed a fork or a knife or something. And they run. I heard all that thumping and stumping. It was something that the movie that I saw, The Burning Bed. I think Farrah Fawcett was playing in it, and Paulie Nat, that movie. You know, you hear all that ruckus going on, and the neighbors be peeping out. What the heck is going on in there? You hear all that ruckus, all that noise. You know. Something disturbing, and I don't want to get caught into it, because it would have been blood all over the place if I was in it. But thank God I wasn't, because I would have been in jail and spent time in jail defending for my mother, protecting my mother. You know, and my mother always bring up about me, you know. I could hear them upstairs. I was down the basement talking about me. You know, as much you don't like me, you don't like my daughter neither, or, you know, or whatever. And it happens all the time, you know. But my mother is the one got to put up with the bull BS. You know, not me. At the time, I was sensitive. What people said about me and my mother is something negative. I don't care, drunk or sober. At that age, 19 years old, yeah, I thought of some things like that. They say something that is negative or negative about, you know, me and my mother, but especially me. And don't know me that well enough. You see me around, that's just it. But anyway, you know, I tend to stay the heck away from negative people. And I believe that man was in grief for many years until the day he died over our aunt. That's his wife that he had to bury in 1980. And he remarried. I think he remarried just to fill the empty space in a broken heart, trying to mend, you know how that is sometimes. You know, somebody leaves you, or somebody break up, you know, somebody die, you have that tend to never to live no more. Life is not worth living anymore, or you trying to fill that space with drugs or alcohol or with another person. And I believe that what was going on. When somebody died in my family, I tend to get over with it because it's just a lot of negative going on in my family. A lot of negative, a lot of disconnection. You know, there is a little bonding, but not enough. A little love, but not enough. Not much support. Little, but not enough. Not asking a whole lot, but it's just not enough. And so when I was afraid of him. I got on the bus. It was a bus that goes around in circles, you know. I was on that bus. I was coming home from school, and I didn't get on. I know his car is still parked there. He didn't go to work. I stayed on the bus, and bus kept on passing the house. I just want to go home, but I just cannot be in our house when he's home. I see his car. By the time his car is gone, then I could get off the bus and go on inside that house. And that's how it was for quite some time. And when he comes home, you know, at night I'm sleeping and I'm going to school, and kept on doing the same thing. When I see his car, I just don't get out the bus. I just keep riding on the bus, look like twice around the circle, twice, you know, until I don't see his car parked there, then I can get off. It's been like that, not just one time, it's been like that for quite some time. And my mother had to kiss his butt at times because he's the owner of the home, and there's a will. And you know, he gave the will to a woman that he'd been married for a very short time, but he didn't give it to the woman who happened to be our aunt on my mother's side that he married to give it to her niece or second niece. That's me and my mother. We're her nieces, and he like I said, he could do whatever he wants to. It's his house. He earned it. Only him and his wife happened to be our aunt. We're her nieces. He's our uncle by marriage. But unfortunately, like I say, he could do whatever he wanted to do. I had no say so. But you know, there's nothing I could say. When he died, he dropped dead. There was no warning. I know he's a diabetic and everything else, but the man dropped dead. Buried him, that was it. And my mother, for a long time, we stayed there for 19 years. That was the longest I ever knew my mother and my son it was the longest time we ever stayed in one place. So we were no longer nomads or gypsies. 19 years. Because before that, I keep thinking what next place we was going to move, because I had that thought all the time. 5 years passed, 10 years passed. I said, oh my goodness, this is the longest 5 years. Normally, we start moving to another place by then. But 10 years passed, you know. Wow, that's the longest we ever stayed in one place. But I started making friends, me and my mother, and my son. He grew up and took him to Children's Hospital, and I thought about abortion, but you know, you lay in the bed, you make it, you make your own bed. I'm responsible. I could have had an abortion, but I just didn't, you know. But I kept the child and raised the child, and the child was raised and had things that I didn't have. I made sure that he stays in one place, get to stay in one school, make friends, and have things that I didn't have. Don't have to go through the things that me and my mother went through. It was mostly down and up. Had a happy childhood. It was okay. Had his teeth fixed, put braces on, and he had a retainer. Then he stayed in the school. Here's the thing, he's slow. So he went to a special school called Conroy. Hey everybody, Conroy. That's up in North Side. So I went there, took him there and everything. He never had any friends, just acquaintances. He never had any best friends. He's antisocial. And I had little problems with that myself, because I would like to have him have friends, normal childhood. Wait a minute, did I say normal? I mean, just to have a childhood where you have friends and stuff. You come over, bonding. When you have birthdays or holidays, you can invite them over and all that, whatever. But it just didn't happen because of his developmental delayed. And he is antisocial, and he doesn't like to talk to people or anything else when he was young, when he was growing up. So part 5 is coming up next.